What's up, guys? Welcome back. I'm excited to have you here because today I'm going to do the type of video I never thought I would do. Something a little connected to the spec market, but still a little more new guy in nature. So before I ramble too long, don't forget to like and subscribe, comment, connect, do whatever you do on the platform you're on. Just look for my furry face inside of an orange circle and click all the buttons next to it. So this is exciting because I've never thought about the spec market. I've never thought about the money connected to comic books. To me, they're great storytelling devices. And so today, as the spec market is losing their mind over certain different books and stuff, I want to highlight two very different things that I'm excited to see on the big screen and the reasons that I am excited to see those. But in 2016, probably mid to late 2016, I found out that there was a new Power Ranger comic. And Power Rangers is something I loved from my childhood. So I looked up a local shop and I went there and I was able to get some trades of the books that were out so far. I think I picked up 2 that first day. And then, so I got all caught up, and so I started going in regularly to pick up the Ranger books. And, it took about 2 years of me only buying Ranger books. Like, that's all I would do is just read Ranger books, and I would read it like 2 or 3, 4 times a week, and then the next month another book would come out. And so in 2018, I believe it was, I walked into the shop and I was getting my Ranger book, and there was this other book that had this amazing green cover all over it, and I said, what is this? And so I picked it up and I kind of flipped through it, and it was called Bitterroot #1. And so I was pretty interested. I was excited. There seemed to be like some interesting tones of like racism and steampunk and science fiction and fantasy and mythology and like all these different things that really just like caught my attention. And the artwork is just like, it's got like this grittiness to it, but it's also like very emotive. And if you've heard me talk about Firepower, one of my biggest sticking points on that book has always been how great Chris Samnee emotes the characters and acts with the characters. And so whenever I saw Bitterroot at the time, I was like, this is, everything that I would want in a comic book as far as I can tell. So I grabbed Bitterroot #1, came home, I read it, fell in love immediately. I absolutely love this story. And it's written by David F. Walker and Chuck Brown. David F. Walker, he's been around for a while. He's done quite a few projects. I have a couple of Kickstarter books that I bought because of how much I like Bitterroot, things like that. Chuck Brown, you might know, he wrote one of my favorite one-shots ever called The Quiet Kind. And so that came after Bitterroot. And then Sanford Green, the artist, he did like some Power Man and Luke Cage and Iron Fist stuff for Marvel. He's worked on a lot of different books. He does quite a few covers. I have a couple of Hit Girl Season 2 books that he did covers for. So he's an amazing artist. I really just love how gritty and emotive his work is. And so I have the whole I have all 12 books that are out so far. But I definitely collected the first 5 issues of this. Week by week. I was so excited for it. I absolutely loved it. And in my opinion, that's probably what's going to happen, because if you didn't see, it's been optioned for a long time by Legendary, and they've been working on it. They attached Ryan Coogler's production company in 2019, and then news on that pretty much slowed down once the pandemic hit. And then the other day they confirmed Regina King is attached as the director. So I'm really excited to see what this turns into. It has a ton of potential. And after that first 5-issue series, they came out with a one-shot called the Red Summer Special. And it's written sort of like an anthology piece. It has different artists, but it uses the same writers across the whole book. And they explore a couple of different characters that were kind of breadcrumbed into that first arc. And so that kind of expands the world out. Season 2 came back. That was another 5 issues. And then Season 3 just recently started, and we're 2 issues into that. We're anxiously awaiting the issue number 13 at this point. So this is a series I've absolutely loved. If I had to guess, basically you have a family of monster hunters in like 1929 Harlem. And so they're kind of going through like a Harlem Renaissance. They're monster hunters. These monsters are basically people that have been enraged by, by hate, by racism a lot of times. And they have a cure, the Bitterroot. They can make this green chemical. And so all of their weaponry and stuff is a little steampunkish. Not completely, but kind of. And they're really great with their hands, they're martial artists in a way. But then they also, some of them are a little more weapon oriented, and so you get like Cullen with the with that rifle and stuff. So yeah, this book really great. I love everything about it from every aspect. There's this alternate reality or like an alternate plane of existence called Barzak, and time moves different there and stuff, and so like Cullen and Nora, they got sucked into Barzak and they survived. Like this is a realm of purgatory. Like everything there is all like monsters that want to kill you. And not only did Nora and Cullen survive that experience, but they were able to come back. And so in the season 2 aspect of it, like you get this like whole new take on the characters because a lot of them they're aged out of time and stuff. Like Nora, her grandma or her mom, Maeda, awesome character. Absolutely love her as well. She's like an older lady. Well, Nora's pretty young. Like, she's probably like in her early 20s, 19, 20, something like that. She goes to Barzak, and when she comes back, now she's like middle-aged, like 40s and 50s. So now her mom is dealing with the fact that she lost all this time with her daughter. Like, they assume she was dead, and she comes back and everything. And then at the same time, you have Nora has a daughter named Blink. And so Blink was like really young when her mom left, and she comes back, and so now Nora's having to deal, like there's so many cool aspects to every character in this. There's a character that stands out as my favorite, Berg. Whenever you see him, you'll understand. He's just like a big Hulk, and his vocabulary is absolutely bonkers. I love every time he speaks. The other cool thing, so I have all 12 issues of that. And then there's this one-shot called Red Summer Special. And honestly, like, I don't know that we need to see that on screen. But if they give us a movie that uses all 5 Bitterroot issues, then the after-credit stinger there should be like, a camera, maybe like a war-torn area, smoke and everything, and a hand reaching out, like, toward, like, dead bodies of 2 children and a lady. And I'll leave it at that. Like, that would absolutely be bonkers if that was, like, their after-credit stinger. Because that completely sets up everything that happens in the next story arc. And then, the other really cool thing about this series is that Sanford Green does all the covers, but he also does... I'm not sure if they're still doing them now, but the first 10 issues all have, like, homage variants. And he does like covers that are homages to some of the greatest black movies ever made, So I don't know, I think like 4 or 5 of the variant covers. I don't have all of those. They're a little harder to get because a lot of people were buying them just because they're really cool homages, I would really hope that people read them because it's an insanely good series. I have all 12 of the actual story. I have like 5 of the variant covers. I have 2 copies of the Red Summer Special one-shot. So I'm excited to see this movie get adapted, and I really hope that with Ryan Coogler involved, with Regina King directing, and the 3 guys that did this, like they're very much like political, like social political activists. Like this is something they talk about all the time on their social media, and so this story really just connects to all of that. And so I hope with that kind of talent behind it, because the creative team, they are doing meetings with Legendary Pictures and everything. Like they post on social media all the time whenever they have a meeting. And they let us know, like, this is still going forward. This is going to happen. So with all of that involvement, I really hope the racial aspect of it does not get swept under the rug. Because the way that they depict everything and show you what life is really like, I think is eye-opening to a lot of people. And I'm really excited to see what this movie can do and how timely it's going to be for what America is today and what we want to become, because I do believe that we want to do better, and I think that it's going to take some media to really help push people over that edge and make us be better than what we have been. Sorry if that gets a little heavy, but racism is something very close to my heart, and I 110% cannot stand the way that things are, and I really do truly want to see some change. Thank you for tuning in for Spec Market News with New Guy. I really don't know what to call this. I'll probably never do another video like this. But sometimes it's nice to show off some of the books that I've collected, regardless of why I collected them for myself in the first place. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a good one. Until next time, keep flipping pages.